I guess as far as my career is concerned, I like to tell people that I am a social worker with a law license. I put off going to law school for a long time, and I worked as an AFJC worker from 1980 until I went to law school in 1989. So I applied to SMU, and I applied to OU, and I applied to Oklahoma City University, which is a Christian college. Well, it's a private college in Oklahoma City. And I got accepted to all three, but I was ecstatic about getting accepted to SMU. Went to SMU, scared to death the whole time. Just had nothing like that in my background. A friend of mine told me that there was a solo practitioner that was hiring, and I went and interviewed with her, and I got that job. She was also doing juvenile law, working with CPS and working with kids in trouble. So she introduced me to that avenue. So I got down to the juvenile courthouse, and that's where my career really started. I got on the appointment list, and I started representing children. And then somehow, I guess, the longer I practiced, I guess I just got a reputation for being a no-nonsense kind of a lawyer. And then the judges kind of thought, Judge Shannon, which is the judge that I'm a special guardian for now, she started giving me cases that had, where I was representing a parent that had mental health issues, because they were difficult people to deal with. And I think she might have thought that, well, if Leora will set her straight and perhaps be kind at the same time. Maybe she saw that in me. And so I had a reputation, along with a couple of other lawyers who were friends of mine, and we would represent parents that were involved with CPS. And I think that's where I began to get my first glimpse of the breakdown of the family. And when we first got there, they weren't doing mediation. You either took a case all the way to trial, the child went home, or it went with a relative. And if you went to trial, 9 chances out of 10, it's going to be a termination. Because back then, parents didn't get attorneys until maybe 6 months into the case, and by then, CPS had talked to them, and they had just talked themselves into a valley that it was going to be difficult to overcome at trial. So represented parents for a long time, and just found myself trying to figure out, what is the problem? Why are these people losing their children? And the ones who concerned me the most were the young African American who would come in to the first adversarial hearing, which is called a 14-day hearing in Texas, because within 14 days after a child is removed from the home, there has to be the first adversarial hearing to show cause hearing to see whether or not the child should actually stay in foster care or go back home. And so I would just try to figure out, why are these women coming into this 14-day hearing? Who are all these young black women? I mean, and they were on drugs, and during testimony they didn't know who the fathers of the children were, and then I would see grandparents coming to court, and it was like nothing I had ever seen before, because my parents were married the whole time. My father died when I was 10. Neither one of my parents were college educated, but they were hard-working people. And they didn't have a whole lot of money, but they instilled a lot of values in my brother and I. And I just couldn't understand what the hell was going on. So I embarked on a journey. I didn't know what to do to try to figure out. I started looking back, okay, when I was growing up, we were black, we didn't have a whole lot of money, my parents weren't college educated. How did we make it? I mean, what's the difference between the way I was raised and the way these people are that's coming into court? And after looking and reading and just doing a lot of soul searching since I probably started trying to figure all this out maybe in 1996, 97. And just going backwards. I started reading African history. When I was in school, we got Martin Luther King, and I love Martin Luther King. Rosa Parks, loved Rosa Parks. But you didn't get the Marcus Garveys, You didn't get the Kwame Nkrumahs, these revolutionaries and the people that talked about self-help and self-reliance and depending on yourself, And even Booker T. Washington, I got Booker T. Washington, I think I knew about him, but nobody ever told me to read his autobiography, which was up from slavery. And he founded Tuskegee Institute. And and then I had to think about the situation with, okay, I had to get past slavery, and I'm still searching, trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And so, you get to slavery and you get all mad about that, and then you think, well, you can't take it out on, white people, of the situation of where we are. You have to, okay, that's one factor that happened. Okay, it happened. Okay, so what else is going on? And so, reading Booker T. Washington's Up from Slavery, I mean, yes, we were enslaved. Okay, come on, let's get with it. Let's try to do some things better, and let's coexist with these people. We can't be mad. We have to coexist here in the United States together. And so that helped me. That helped me understand that, okay, we're out here and trying to figure out what's going on with the family. Is it because we were enslaved, or I'm trying to find reasons. And so I looked at history, and I looked at and looking at Booker T. Washington, he was good. Marcus Garvey was good, and I guess I just came to the conclusion, and I hope I'm not being disjointed, but I guess I came to the conclusion, Kim, that the family, as we have known it, has suffered a breakdown because of many, many, many factors. It's just not one factor. It's multi-layered. There are some there are some things that are left over, I think, from slavery. But I'm not saying that the state of the African American family is solely dependent on that. And so once I understood where my people came from, and the strength that we had, and just where we came from, and the history we had before slavery, because we do have history before slavery, and just found my strength in my culture, in the fact that my husband is from Nigeria and I get to go travel back and forth to Africa. It inspires me that, and it lets me know that God didn't create us to be down all the time. So what else is going on? Well, some of the other things that's going on is society. Society is, our family is under attack from society, and a lot of the commercialism, a lot of the materialism. A lot of these things are attacking not only the black family, but just the family. Your family is just under attack. So trying to bring it full circle back to my practice, as I sat there and wondered what was going on, and after 5, 6, 7 years working with families, I decided, there's strength within us. So let me see if I can help the families find some of this inner strength. And so whereas I was once representing parents, I've just kind of concluded that probably that's not where I can be the most effective. I think I can be more effective with kids, because when you're a guardian ad litem in a case, you have the court has your ear. Okay, you have to make a recommendation, and I decided that when I represented the parents, CPS and everybody sees you as the villain, because you're trying to get these abusive, neglectful parents back their children, and what about the child? So nobody wants to be your friend when you're representing the parent. You're fighting an uphill battle. And I determined that the best way for me to be effective in trying to help families solve some of the issues that they have going on is maybe I need to represent the children. That way I can be more effective in where the children go, because if you represent a parent and you say, if my client wants the child to go to the grandmother, then everybody's expecting that the grandmother's going to hand the baby back to the mother. So if you're the guardian and you make a recommendation, then you just have more clout. And I want to be a more effective player in trying to help families heal some of their issues and trying to keep them together.